Hello everyone, bonjour tout le monde. So I'm doing another makeshift phone video because, well, I'm here in Costa Rica and actually today I can't really walk too much because I knocked out my knee yesterday in Manuel Antonio, so I'm taking a slow day. But this particular topic has been showing up a lot for me lately. I think that my social media, all my advertisements are around manifestation, and I think there's a lot of misinformation around manifestation, and I literally just figured this out this year. Because I used to think manifestation was just affirmation and things like that, but I wasn't ever really getting anywhere with that. And so I wanted to talk about what, from my experience, manifestation is and has been. And I also want to mention that one of the things that gave me this perspective that I so needed was reading Existential Kink. I don't know if anyone here has read it or has heard of it, but it's basically shadow integration. And what's crazy is that for the longest time, I thought that I was doing everything right, and I was like, why are things not changing in my life though? And I was being perfect, if you will. However, I was completely disregarding my shadow self. I was just trying to be this perfect version of myself. I was spiritual and kind, and I ate right, and I did everything right. Yet my life was not improving, and I could not figure it out for the life of me. And then somehow it was crazy because around New Year's I had this very clear revelation that in order for my life to change, I had to fundamentally change. But I didn't entirely know what I had to do because I knew I hadn't fundamentally changed. I was just doing what I thought was right. And then it was presented to me, and I had heard it many times, and if you hear something many times, maybe you should listen. Read Existential Kink. And I read it, and it totally changed my life. My doors opened for me that just had not been opening. So last night I wrote this journal because it was I read it, I finished it, and things were going very well, and then sometimes there's some forgetting, and I have to remind myself of certain things. And so last night I wrote in my journal, basically it's becoming very clear to me that in order to attract what I want in life, I have to be at those frequencies. For my life is a reflection of me. So when I spent all that time in the frequency of wanting and not being fulfilled, I just spread more lack of fulfillment. Then as soon as I changed my frequency, the life around me changed. And a great example of this is I was living with my mom for almost 2 months this summer near DC, which is I was dreading because it's an area where usually I have nothing going on. And I showed up there and a million doors opened for me. It was crazy in a place where I would have never foreseen doors to open for me. And so I'm reminding myself now that what is meant for you will come easily and naturally. So there's no reason to push and make things difficult. For if you do, things would just be difficult. All you have to do is be. Be at the frequency of love and connection, and that will breed love and connection. And I guess if I heard this and hadn't learned a lot about manifestation, I would not totally understand it. Because you could just be oh yeah, I'm all love, I'm all connection, I'm all things like that. But part of actually being at those frequencies is to embrace the things in your life that you don't like. When I learned that I'm responsible for a lot of these don't like situations in my life, and I learned to love and embrace them, things changed. It was I was feeling, because I was able to embrace the bad things in my life or the things that I didn't like, I suddenly was accepting of all these things in my life and loving my life so much that my life became more a life that I would love. It's things just changed as I changed. So it's my outward was just a reflection of my inward all along. Of course, there are some exceptions to these, karmic things that you're born into, things like that. However, the regular day-to-day stuff that we're dealing with, a lot of it can be attributed to you and things that you're creating and unconscious patterns that you need to unlock. So it's just when I made that realization, everything changed for me. Of course, it's not it wasn't overnight because it was kind of it took me a long time to make the shift. However, I just wanted to mention this about manifestation because I feel it's a big topic, probably on TikTok and everywhere else, but this is my experience with it. yeah, shadow integration. If you haven't read Existential King, it's a little bit taboo, but I would definitely recommend it. And yeah, also something that initially, this isn't necessarily about manifestation, but it has to do with the body and patterns in your life as well, is Caroline Myss's Energy Anatomy. That was the first thing I listened to forever ago, and it like totally changed my life. It wasn't as much about shadow integration, at least not that I recall. So it's more recently that I learned about this, therefore actually learned about manifestation in a real way and not in a flowery, in genuine way that I feel like it's often taught. Yeah, so that's all I wanted to say. I don't know, I'm feeling a little bit inspired thinking about that and reminding myself of that, so I wanted to talk about it publicly in this impromptu, yet again, random video. All right, thank you all for watching. Bye!